tweet at Smooth981. And we're streaming live on YouTube as well. So you can catch the live stream on there. Just search for Smooth981 and click subscribe. Good morning, Rotus.
Hey, good morning, Zibby. Good morning to all our listeners, viewers out there, and happy International Women's Day.
Yay! Thank you on behalf of all my sisters around the world. All right, so today we're talking about, well, International Women's Day, technology and inclusion.
Indeed. Yes, indeed. That is the theme for 2023, and it's got a lot of, I guess, inroads to how SMEs can function, female-led SMEs especially. So it's I think it's a really good theme for this year, because technology, everything should ride on tech.
Right. All right. So how does the theme this year impact businesses?
For female-led businesses in particular, I guess the theme is with respect to a level playing field, and tech, digital inclusion is supposed to provide a level playing field to allow female, at least in women that are in business. I'm talking about business now. I'm from the business angle, but generally, I think the overall theme though, is about getting more girls and women, using technology, accelerating their careers, accelerating their education. But for me, on the business side, it is really for, the profits, the bottom line for female-led businesses, technology, allowing them to be able to compete, allowing them to be able to scale their businesses across, whether they're operating in a state, municipality, or across the country. That's what it means, I guess, as far as female-led businesses, female-led SMEs, even micro, small, medium MSMEs are concerned as well.
All right. Now let's talk about the female-led SMEs and how we can find, or where you can find them across Nigeria. Which states have the most female-led SMEs?
Yeah, I was looking at stats from, I know Lagos is definitely there. I think Gombe is another state as well. This is from the Faith Institute, which is the research arm of the Faith Foundation. So yeah, so Lagos, Gombe, Bauchi, Kwara, Oyo, Edo, and Abia states. Now this is as of, I think, 2022 when they released the data. So maybe there's an update for those particular states. Again, Gombe, Bauchi, Kwara, Oyo, Lagos, Edo, and Abia. That's where you find most of those female-led SMEs.
So I'm curious though, what is it about those states that makes it such a thriving place for women to lead?
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, it's interesting. Most of the reasons why people decide to start their own businesses, and this could include all manner of businesses. If you're just doing something for yourself to make money, then I'm not sure they're looking at just established brick and mortar offices, in these particular states. I think there is an unemployment angle to this, to where people who are not able to find 9-to-5 jobs are going into business for themselves. So I guess in a Gombe, in a Bauchi, in an Abia, in a Lagos, you're just finding more of these female-led businesses. But then again, you have to think about how they're classifying these female-led businesses, and not just to look at it and think that, oh, wow, Gombe has such an awesome business environment that's great for women. It's not, I don't think that's it. I think there is the fact that a lot of people, men and women, but focusing just on women today, that are not finding enough opportunities in corporate Nigeria, and they're just starting something on their own. So, if you start a farm tomorrow and start selling, fish on your own, you started a small business and you're counted. So I think that's what we're seeing. I'm not particularly sure that there's just this awesome business environment in those areas, but those particular states that's what the Faith Foundation found, have higher numbers of female-led businesses than others.
So infrastructure across the states is a factor.
Massive. That if you're talking about the theme for International Women's Day and talking about technology as a leveler, then you have to talk about infrastructure in those particular. So Lagos would be the far and out leader amongst them because of, I guess, internet connectivity and the number of users compared to those other states. But infrastructure plays a role because if you don't have proper internet connectivity or enough broadband penetration, then from a technology standpoint, your business isn't going to thrive. Look at, the issues we've had with networks for transferring money, POS, and so on and so forth, since this Naira redesign. By the way, I hear the banks are now dispensing old notes. Still need to, if people are listening, they should confirm that I think there's been an update since yesterday. But by and large, the infrastructure has to be there. So I think our broadband penetration is only 45 or 46%. We're aiming for, 70% by 2025. I think the president-elect, if the courts hold up, he has 90% by 2025. So all this is in the mix. Infrastructure is definitely in the mix.
Well, let us know what your thoughts are. The WhatsApp number is 0809 440 981. I've got a message coming through. This is from Benga, and Benga says, how many of the SMEs include bakers, provision sellers, pepper sellers, etc.? Because we tend to focus more on those formal businesses than the informal ones. Now, Rotus, how much of this is also an education discussion, and what are the stats on out-of-school girls globally and in Nigeria?
Yeah, so the stats are not pretty. I think according to UNESCO, I think it's about 125 or 129 million girls globally that are out of school. UNICEF, or the same UNESCO, says that we have about 20 million children out of school in Nigeria. Out of that 20 million, I believe the last count was about 6 million girls that are out of school. So if you're going to talk about gender inclusion and gender equality from a digital standpoint or a technology standpoint, then education definitely is there. And this is where we're talking about leveling the playing field. If you cannot go to a physical school, then you would need good internet. You need a laptop, a computer, and so on and so forth. Maybe a tablet to be able to continue distance learning. Or public schools will have to have those facilities to be able to connect to the internet and teach and show the type of videos that young girls can use to learn. So what we've seen is that the numbers for children out of school and girls out of school continues to climb. So how do you arrest that number and bring it down? We've been talking about 12 million children out of school in Nigeria for so long. Now it's 20 million. I suspect it could be higher. We're going to do, I hear we're spending 868 billion naira or something, almost 900 billion on a census later this year. So if they carry it out, then maybe we'll have official figures, with respect to exactly how many kids we have out of school. But education is definitely part of the conversation.
All right, thanks for that. Let's talk about mentorship. How important are mentorship programs in the field of business studies, particularly for women?
They're very important. I've been struggling whether or not, I think it's better to have more female professionals as the mentors themselves, so that you've got role models that inspire young girls to want to get into these professional fields. I mean, if a Zibby is mentoring young female up-and-coming journalists, or in the field of radio and TV and so on, that would be helpful, right? So it's incredibly important because it served as a motivational tool, somebody that they can look up to. So I know everybody's busy now. Everybody's doing so many things. We've all got side hustles. We've all got so many things we're doing. And I think that mentorships are starting to suffer because of that, because the people that everybody is chasing to try to have some time to show them the ropes, they're quite busy. But I mean, it's a matter of having to just schedule 20, 30 minutes every other day or something, maybe weekly, with a number of, younger ones, so that you can breed the next generation of these professionals in these fields. because they have to see somebody that looks like them and somebody they can emulate in order to get there, you know. I mean, what do you think? Are you put you on the spot? Are you mentoring anyone, Zibby?
I try. I actually do.
Yeah.
It's something I always try to do because sometimes I do wish I had that, particularly in this field. So I had to learn a lot of things myself and take a lot of classes and all, but sometimes actually good to just pass on that knowledge you have and guide people. So I try to do that every day.
It's
And
essential.
not just in broadcasting, but across areas as well. Because I think a lot of people need that. Yeah.
Very much so. Very much so.
Okay. So you've been trying to get more female mass communication graduates into business journalism. How is that going?
Yeah, it's well, actually it's female and male, but I mean it's been a bit challenging because a lot of mass communication graduates, at least the ones that I'm coming across, they want to go into, you know, politics. I mean, this election season now, you can imagine it. Every 4 years, you see this spike in mass interest from mass comm students who want to cover politics because it's so. I mean, look at everything that's happening, right? Others want to do entertainment. No beef there. Sports. So you know, they tend to find business. Some confess that they find business a bit boring, which maybe that's on me and that's on our business publications to make things more interesting. So it's a bit challenging, but you got to stay the course and try to keep it going because if you're in business, you're in a very diverse field.
Is Nigeria a case study? Is Nigeria as a case study a good breeding ground for female economists or business journalists?
I think it is. I mean, you look at the Naira redesign and everything that's happened there. You think about fuel scarcity. You think about how much we import, the interest in cryptocurrency from our youth, the exchange rate dynamics. You think about how much the CBN is in the news all the time, how much you talk about the economy. I mean, these all should serve as real live case studies and just the day-to-day conversations around them. Everybody's affected. So the universities can jump on that. Parents can jump on that. You know, mentors can jump on that. Every one of these things that's happening can be used as a conversation starter to get another young girl into these fields of business and economics and finance and banking and business journalism and so on. Because it's just Nigeria is one of the best cases. I mean, in Nigeria, Sri Lanka and Argentina, if you're any one of these developing nations, there's just always something happening on the economic side that can serve as a lesson or to train people to come up in that field.
All right, let's take a message. This is from Gilbert. He says, it's encouraging to accelerate SMEs based on female gender, but it's equally more important to investigate the reasons some SMEs in the 1970s through the 90s failed and mitigate against such in the future. Also, security is important to accelerate growth of SMEs.
Great point. And I would throw in there that interest rates are very much part of the conversation in the survival of SMEs. When it comes to lending, you have to bring interest rates down. You must make lending easy and affordable for businesses because access to capital is one of the main challenges that not just female SMEs or every SME is facing that issue. So if you can't make borrowing affordable, how else are they going to be able to get the money to start their businesses and expand? So I hope the next administration coming in, after we get through all these court cases and everything, I hope they're able to focus on that because capital is the lifeblood of any business, whether it's run by a woman or run by a man.
All right, I've got one final question. We're talking about female empowerment using technology. How much of a role does the state play?
The state plays a big role, Zibby. I mean, because, you know, you have all these initiatives and programs that they have where they are supposed to be used to support businesses. You've got commissioning of all these projects, infrastructure projects that are supposed to make life easier for businesses. So the state plays a massive role, and they have to recognize that and do what they can to provide what is needed. Your stable power, a banking sector that provides loans that are affordable, and so on and so forth. It's a big role for making sure that businesses run by women survive.
All right. Well, that is all the time that we have today, International Women's Day. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your messages. And thank you, Rotus, as well.
Thanks, Zibby. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much. Do take it easy.
All right. That is all the time that we have for Business Express this morning. But do stay with us. There's a lot more to come on the Smooth Breakfast.